Canelo, young, strong champion. You know, he got a lion heart. But once again, it's different at this level. I've been here before. And I can make adjustments, as you've seen in the Shane Mosley fight, as you've seen in the Ortiz fight, and as you've seen in the Robert Guerrero fight. Floyd Mayweather he has versatility, and I can make adjustments.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So yeah, I'm finally about to drop this Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo Alvarez breakdown. I know it's been a long time coming. Extremely late video because I actually did this audio about 3 weeks ago, but I had a problem transferring it over and uploading it because I did it on an older laptop, and long story short, wasn't able to transfer it, and because of that, I didn't want to have to do it all over again, but I ended up having to do it anyway. So anyway, let's get into it. You know, guys, when it comes to Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez is Floyd Mayweather's George Foreman. This is Floyd Mayweather's Joe Frazier, his Sonny Liston. You know, when you really think about it, especially when it comes to George Foreman, just like Canelo Alvarez, George Foreman, he was much bigger, much stronger, much younger, and he was undefeated. All right? When it comes to Joe Frazier was a little bit younger, he was stronger, he was a champion, and he was undefeated. And at the time, he was one of the only fighters that people really thought had a chance of beating Ali and really could challenge Ali. Okay? When it comes to Canelo Alvarez, this is Canelo Alvarez's Pernell Whitaker. This is his Sugar Ray Leonard. This is his Muhammad Ali that he's going up against. The stakes could not be any higher. But yet at the same time, let's face it, Canelo, he has a lot less to lose than Floyd Mayweather does, right? Because if you guys have already looked at the odds, Canelo Alvarez, he's already considered the underdog. He's already expected to possibly lose this fight, at least more than Floyd Mayweather is, right? So the stakes are higher for Floyd Mayweather, not really for Canelo Alvarez. You know, guys, I was reading a couple of comments that Canelo was making after the fight was actually being signed. He was talking about his strategy of how he's going to beat Floyd Mayweather. And I was rather surprised because I don't know if maybe I overrated Canelo a little bit. You know, maybe I thought he was a little bit smarter than he's starting to appear to be right now. But Canelo started saying the key to beating Floyd Mayweather is pressure. And he said, I'm not even going to aim for the head. I'm just going to strictly go to his body, right? And, you know, when I hear him say something like this, it surprises me because this is the exact same strategy that almost everyone who goes in the ring with Floyd Mayweather, they use, or at least they say they're going to do before they get in the ring. It's always the exact same strategy, right? Now, I agree to a certain extent that pressure is part of possibly beating Floyd Mayweather, but you have to know how to apply the pressure, okay? And if you're going to sit here and say you're going to apply pressure just by strictly going to the body, it makes no sense to me. Because first of all, how many fighters do you know that have been successful going to Floyd Mayweather's body? Not too many, right? Not too many. It's like Canelo Alvarez is falling for that same little mousetrap that every other Floyd Mayweather, opponent falls for. They see the cheese and they feel it's just that simple. You just go over there, you grab the cheese, you eat it, and you're done, right? But then they all fuck around and they go to that damn trap and they fuck around and they get caught in that damn trap. And what Canelo Alvarez is saying is no different than everyone else who fell for the trap, right? You have to understand something. To just simply say, I'm going to pressure Floyd Mayweather, it's not as easy as it looks from the outside looking in, okay? Floyd Mayweather could do so many different things when it comes to trying to corner him, throw him in the corner and just try to have your way with him, pressuring him with all kind of punches. People think, someone like Canelo who surprises me, he thinks he's just going to throw his ass in the corner and Floyd Mayweather is going to panic and start gradually breaking down, and by the 6th, 7th round, he'll have nothing left. He'll be out of gas. It doesn't work like that with Floyd Mayweather because Floyd Mayweather is so slippery. When I think of Canelo Alvarez's strategy towards Floyd Mayweather, it really reminds me of the Diego Corrales-Floyd Mayweather fight. Because this is the exact type of strategy that Corrales, he tried to implement in that fight. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Corrales was an extremely good pressure fighter. He had a terrific chin. He didn't mind giving up punches so that he could land his power punches. And I remember Diego Corrales, what he said in that leading up to that fight was, Floyd Mayweather, he's going to win like the first 3 rounds. He's going to hit me because he's just too quick. He's too slick. But I predicted after around the 3rd, 4th round, that's when I'm going to start catching up with him, and my pressure is going to start to get to him. Because that's exactly how Corrales used to beat almost all of his opponents. He would give up the first couple rounds, and then after that, he would eventually start to break his opponent down and then catch him with something and knock them out. But as Corrales, soon found out, it was not easy to pressure Floyd Mayweather. In fact, you're talking about a fighter who throws a lot of punches in Corrales. When he fought against Floyd Mayweather, he landed his lowest percentage in his entire career because he could not catch up with Floyd Mayweather. He couldn't put Floyd Mayweather on the ropes. He couldn't really corner him. He couldn't cut the ring off with Floyd Mayweather. And this is exactly the type of problems that I believe that Canelo is going to have. Canelo's not going to be able to cut the ring off with Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather's foot movement and his hand speed is just way too quick for Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez has never faced an opponent who moves around the ring so gracefully as Floyd Mayweather does. There are so many different things that Floyd Mayweather could do. Even if you do corner him, it doesn't mean that you're automatically going to be successful. Now, Canelo says that he's going to go to the body with bad intentions. But the problem with going to Floyd Mayweather's body is Floyd Mayweather, he has a terrific right uppercut counterpunch that is tailored, that is when people go to Floyd Mayweather's body, the body attack is tailor-made for Floyd Mayweather's right uppercut. Because when you go to the body, you abandon any type of head defense. You're lowering your hands so that you can sacrifice your head to land punches to his body. Okay? When you do that, and you're doing it with someone who's intelligent as Floyd Mayweather, this is when Floyd Mayweather, he catches you with the uppercuts over and over again. You don't believe me? You go back and you watch a lot of Floyd Mayweather's fights. Particularly the fight against Jesus Chavez. There's been a couple fights. He did it a couple times against Marquez. He did it in the Cotto fights. You go to Floyd Mayweather's body, he's gonna counter you with a perfect right uppercut. Okay, another fighter who was really good at doing this and had more power when he did it was Zab Judah. That's one of Zab Judah's trademark punches, but he does it with the left uppercut because he's a southpaw. He's knocked a lot of fighters out like that. So that's one of the many things that Floyd Mayweather could do when you try to trap him in the corner and go to his body. Okay? Another thing that Floyd Mayweather could do, he could fight off the ropes. Okay? He could fight off the ropes. He can deflect a lot of your punches and catch you with all different type of shots. All right? Another thing that Floyd Mayweather can do is every now and then, Floyd Mayweather, he'll just tie you up. You get too close to him, he'll tie you up. But Floyd Mayweather, he ties you up so gracefully, it almost doesn't even look like he's tying you up. Next thing you know, you see the referee breaking it up, and you almost don't even know why the referee's breaking it up because he does it so gracefully. Now, Canelo Alvarez, him talking about going to Floyd Mayweather's body. Now remember, this was his exact same strategy that he said he was going to use against Austin Trout. He was not effective against Austin Trout with going to Austin's body. He was never effective when it comes to going to Austin's body. Matter of fact, what Trout did basically is the same thing I expect Floyd to do every now and then. Every time Canelo tried to go to Austin's body, Austin he would just push Canelo to the side, and he would just turn him, or he would tie him up real quick and spin him around and put Canelo on the ropes. Okay, but like I said, Floyd Mayweather he has so many more weapons than an Austin Trout. So I expect Floyd Mayweather to sit on the ropes a couple of times and trade with Canelo and get the best of him when he does. He's going to tie him up every now and then. He's going to go toe to toe with him on the ropes. He's going to catch him with that counter right uppercut. And I truly see Canelo being extremely confused and frustrated by the fifth, sixth round. After a while, I see Canelo just following and not really knowing what to do. All right? I mean, like I said, Canelo Alvarez is an extremely, good fighter. But realistically, his main weapon in this fight is power. And what people, a lot of ignorant fans who don't really follow the sport or really know that much about the sport, they think that all it takes is a guy to be extremely strong to beat Floyd Mayweather. But when you really look at Floyd Mayweather's career, his resume of all of his opponents, I mean, more than half, probably 70% of everybody or everyone that Floyd Mayweather faced, they were all stronger than Floyd Mayweather. Why do you guys think Floyd Mayweather, he looks like he doesn't have a worry in the world when it comes to Canelo Alvarez? You would think looking at Canelo, looking at his youth, looking at his strength, looking at his confidence, you would think, oh boy, Floyd Mayweather is a boy. Floyd Mayweather don't know what he's getting himself into. That's what you would think. You would think naturally. But when you look at Floyd Mayweather, you look at how calm, how relaxed he is. You know why he's so calm and so relaxed? Because power doesn't mean anything if you cannot land the punch. When I think of a boxer with tremendous power but doesn't really have all of the intelligence, it reminds me of a golf player, right? A golf player who's probably the strongest golf player there is. Meaning when he tees off, he can hit the golf ball on the first strike. He can hit the golf ball about 400 yards, right? And no one else can do that but him. Now, you would think that would give him an advantage, right? Because in the sport of golf, the less times you hit the ball to the hole, the more points you score. You could get an eagle, you could get a hole-in-one, et cetera, right? But the problem is, if you can't hit that ball extremely hard with accuracy, then it turns out to make that advantage you have almost a disadvantage. Because if you could hit let's say you're on a par 5, and I know a lot of people don't really watch golf. I don't really either. But let's just say, for the people who know what I'm talking about, you got a par 5. You got a golf course that's about 560 yards. Now everyone else, they hitting the ball about 270 yards. You can hit the ball 450 yards, right? You can hit the ball twice as hard as everyone else on the field can, right? But the problem is you have no accuracy. So when you hit the ball, you hitting it far as hell, but guess what? You can't land it in the fairway. So when you hit it, it goes into the water. It goes way off the fairway somewhere in the bushes, somewhere in the lake, somewhere in a tree. Now you got to hit the ball a million times just to get it out of the fucking bushes. You understand what I'm saying? This is how it is in boxing when you have a whole bunch of power, but you don't have the intelligence and you don't have the accuracy to land the punch, right? Or know what to do with all that power that you have. This is the problem that I think that Canelo Alvarez is going to have. When you watch Canelo against Austin Trout, he showed a lot of flaws. I mean, Canelo Alvarez, he showed improvements from his previous fights, but he continued to show flaws in the fight with Austin Trout. He fought in spurts, which I don't think fitness and all of that. I don't think a new nutritionist or a new fitness trainer is gonna help that. Oscar De La Hoya, he had the exact same problem. I remember when Oscar was fighting against I don't know. He was fighting against Floyd Mayweather. When he was fighting against Manny Pacquiao, he kept saying in 24 hours and 24/7, he kept saying, well, now I have a fitness trainer, so there's not going to be any more of those, getting tired after the 6th, 7th round and this and that. And every single time he went out there, it was the same Oscar De La Hoya. You know why? Because it's not physical. These spurts, when they fight and they look like they get tired, it's not from a physical standpoint. It's psychological. They mentally get broken down. They mentally get tired. And that's the way Canelo Alvarez is. Canelo Alvarez will always fight in spurts when the competition is more stiffer. Okay? Because this is how we know that it's not physical. Because like I said before, when Canelo was fighting against Josito Lopez, Canelo didn't fight in spurts. Why? Because he had the confidence. This guy is smaller than me. This guy is not on my level. I'm just going to run this dude over and knock him out, right? But when he fought against Austin Trout, he fought in spurts because he didn't have the same type of confidence he had when he was fighting against Lopez, okay? Now, it's interesting when it comes to Floyd Mayweather because I truly believe that Canelo is somewhat of a bully. Canelo, he feels there's no way I'm going to let this little small guy, outfight me, outbox me. Canelo believes that because he's naturally much more bigger than Floyd Mayweather, Canelo truly believes he can just run right over Floyd Mayweather. Okay? And, we'll see. It's yet to be seen. I don't believe he'll be able to do it because he won't be able to touch Floyd Mayweather. But if he does touch Floyd Mayweather, he can inflict some serious damage because he does have some serious power. Okay? Now, going back to when people say, I talk to people on the streets, people who's pulling for Canelo, and I hear some people say, hey, man, but you gotta look at it, man. Canelo, he's been improving, man. He has good head movement, et cetera, and all of that. A couple of people was talking about his head movement and trying to say he can match Floyd Mayweather's head movement. Let me explain something to you guys. Moving your head against Austin Trout is nowhere near the same thing as moving your head against Floyd Mayweather. Okay? When Canelo was moving his head against Austin Trout was throwing telegraph punches. Everything was coming to Canelo at the same time. Therefore, Canelo could prepare for the punches. When Floyd Mayweather attacks, you don't know when he's going to attack. Floyd Mayweather just doesn't stand in front of you and throw a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 like Trout was doing against Canelo Alvarez. No, Floyd doesn't do that. Floyd makes you think he's going to throw a jab, but then he throws a lead left hook. When you think he's going to throw another lead left hook, he throws a right hand to the body. When you think he's going to throw another right hand to the body, he throws a right hand to the head. Then he throws a looping right hand. Floyd Mayweather is always making you guess what he's going to do next. Okay? It's a vicious game of paper, rock, scissors when it comes to Floyd Mayweather. All right? It's not going to be the same. You can't prepare for head movement when you don't know what punches are coming to you. All right? So that's the difference when it comes to Floyd Mayweather. Not only do I think that Canelo Alvarez is going to have a lot of problems against Floyd Mayweather, but I don't even think Canelo will do as good as Cotto or Oscar De La Hoya did against Floyd Mayweather. I don't think that he has the weapons or the tools, especially that Oscar De La Hoya had. I'll tell you, when I compare Canelo Alvarez to Oscar De La Hoya, he doesn't have those weapons. Let me explain what I mean. I think what helped Oscar De La Hoya when Oscar was fighting against Floyd, and quite frankly, I believe if they fought 10 times, Floyd Mayweather would always beat Oscar, but Oscar would always be competitive. Because, number one, Oscar De La Hoya, he had a tremendous amount of hand speed that Canelo does not have. Number one. Okay? Number two, Oscar De La Hoya, he had an American amateur pedigree. He was a gold medalist. Okay? Oscar De La Hoya was the best amateur boxer in his division in the country at one time. All right? And we all know that American boxing, American amateur boxing is on a much higher elite level than Mexican amateur boxing. Okay? That's number two. Number three, what makes Oscar a much better opponent, a much more competitive opponent for Floyd, is his height and his height advantage. I think that also played a competitive factor against Floyd Mayweather. Okay, Canelo Alvarez. That's another thing that Canelo does not have. Okay, if you guys have been watching the face-offs, Canelo Alvarez is virtually the exact same height as Floyd Mayweather. Okay, he doesn't have those type of weapons that Oscar De La Hoya has. The only weapon that he has is, once again, power. But truly enough, I believe that Oscar De La Hoya was almost just as strong as Canelo Alvarez. You know, one thing about having that type of power that Canelo Alvarez has, just like they said on Spider-Man, you know, with power comes responsibility. And I don't believe that Canelo really has the responsibility to go with that power. When Canelo Alvarez really tries to use that power, he ends up swinging wild. He swings for the fences. He swings very wild. If you watch the Austin Trout fight, and even the Shane Mosley fight, you seen there was a lot of times where Canelo, he ended up trying to put everything into one or two punches, and he ended up swinging wild and making his punches very telegraphed. Okay, you got it. You know, it's going to either be one way or the other. Either you're going to take a little steam off your power and try to be accurate, or you're going to try to put everything on that punch and be completely wild. All right, it's not going to help him against Floyd Mayweather, because Floyd ain't going to get caught with any of those wild power punches. All right. I mean, what I kind of see, what I predict is Canelo does have a very good jab. It seems to me. I think every now and then, not really often, but I think every now and then Canelo may surprise Floyd Mayweather and catch him with a nice stiff jab. But I don't think it's going to be consistent. It's just going to be every now and then, because Canelo knows, just like Oscar De La Hoya knew, that if you rely on the jab, and this is something that a lot of people said. Let me just jump off track real quick. You know, I hear a lot of people, who was rooting for De La Hoya, and they always say, man, why didn't De La Hoya keep throwing that jab? Because if you guys recall, back in around the 7th and the 8th round, when De La Hoya started throwing the jab, he started to connect on Floyd Mayweather, and then all of a sudden he stopped throwing it. Right? And everybody always say, man, if he would have kept throwing the jab, he would have beat Floyd, and et cetera, et cetera. And I always explain to people, and this is probably one of the very few things that me and Jim Lampley actually agree on, right? The reason why De La Hoya didn't continue to throw the jab is because if you watch boxing like I do, then you know that Floyd Mayweather, he has one of the best pull counters, one of the best right-hand pull counters in the whole sport. Right? I mean, it's a tremendous counterpunch that he throws right over a jab. And Oscar De La Hoya, he knew this. So Oscar De La Hoya, after throwing about 3 to 5 really good, effective jabs, he gave it up because he knew that eventually he was going to get caught with a counter shot. And an intelligent boxer like Oscar De La Hoya, he's more worried about the counter than anything. Just like Shane Mosley was worried when Shane was fighting against Floyd Mayweather. People also wonder why Shane Mosley was so tentative. Now, long time ago on my old channel, I made a prediction on the Shane Mosley Mayweather fight, and I predicted that after a few rounds, Shane Mosley is going to be timid and he's not going to be throwing too many punches because he will be afraid of the counterpunch. All right, he will be afraid of the counterpunch. You know, so back to Canelo Alvarez. I see Canelo throwing a couple jabs, but after he throws a couple jabs, I see Floyd Mayweather timing him perfect with that right pull counter. Okay, like I said, man, Canelo Alvarez, I really see him getting outboxed in this fight. The thing with Canelo Alvarez, another thing that's really going to work in Floyd Mayweather's favorite is Canelo Alvarez is conventional. He's not a southpaw. So this means Floyd Mayweather gets to use all of his favorite weapons against Canelo Alvarez. All of his favorite offensive weapons and all of his favorite defensive weapons, right? When it comes to Canelo Alvarez, we all know his left hook is possibly his strongest weapon. Okay, well, we already know that Floyd Mayweather's Philly shell is perfect when it comes to a conventional fighter. Because Floyd Mayweather, he gets in that Philly shell, he puts his right hand up, his right hand is glued to his face. Floyd Mayweather doesn't even have to really use effort when he gets into that Philly shell to block your left hook. He just sits there and smiles at you while you throwing the hardest left hooks in the world. Go back and watch the De La Hoya fight. In De La Hoya, one of his favorite weapons was the left hook. De La Hoya, you see De La Hoya throwing 5, 6 left hooks, and Floyd Mayweather just sitting there with his right hand glued to his face, just smiling at Oscar De La Hoya. This is going to be the outcome when it comes to Canelo Alvarez. He's going to try to land that left hook to no avail. Will he be effective? Okay? He's going to try to throw those body punches. The Philly shell is going to block the body punches, and then he's going to try to come up top, and the Philly shell is going to block the shoulder is going to block the right hand, and the right hand is going to block the left hook. So, Canelo Alvarez, he's really going to have a hard time. And like I said, when it comes to him being conventional, I think you're going to see Floyd Mayweather's lead left hook. I think he's going to be throwing that a lot. I think Floyd Mayweather is going to be setting up just like he did against Diego Corrales. What Floyd Mayweather did was he would throw hard, stiff jabs to the body. Okay? Now, when he does this, it's a setup. Because he throws a couple jabs to the body, and eventually you're going to start putting your hands down because you're going to expect another jab to the body, and that's when he's going to jump up and he's going to catch you with a surprise left hook. This is the punch that knocked down Juan Marquez. This is the punch that knocked out Diego Corrales, or not knocked him out, but this is the one that kept knocking him down. All right, I see Floyd Mayweather using all of his best weapons. See, we didn't get to see Floyd used all of his weapons against Ghost Guerrero because Guerrero was a southpaw. And when you're fighting against a seasoned southpaw, your main weapon is going to be the right hand. That's why we kept seeing the right hand over and over thrown against Guerrero. I think we're gonna see all of Floyd Mayweather's weapons when it comes to Canelo. A lot of these fighters are starting to remind me of these type of ambush fighters, right? That's what a lot of these fighters are, especially when it comes to going up against Floyd Mayweather. They want to rush Floyd Mayweather with this aggressive attack. And then once they realize it wasn't that successful, then they go back on their bicycle and they start moving around like they're trying to figure out what they're going to do next. So they take a couple minutes off the round and then they jump in with another ambush. This is what Victor Ortiz does a lot. This is what Canelo Alvarez does a lot. And to mention other fighters, this is what Abner Mares does. They rush in with an attack and then they get back on their bicycle, then they rush in again. This is what Canelo Alvarez is going to be doing. Now, me quite frankly, now I went on rambling on forever telling you guys why I don't think that Canelo Alvarez will be successful. Now what I want to do is I want to tell you what Canelo will need to do to be successful against Floyd Mayweather. Now, it's going to be hard for Canelo to be successful against Floyd. The only way I see Canelo being successful is if Canelo puts up a hell of a sacrifice. Canelo would have to sacrifice himself getting knocked out or getting severely hurt to knock out Floyd Mayweather. Okay, what that means is only way Canelo is going to really have a chance of beating Floyd Mayweather is if he is aggressive, but he catches Floyd Mayweather at the exact same time that Floyd Mayweather is trying to catch him. A la Antonio Tarver versus Roy Jones. Roy Jones was such an intelligent, great fighter. He was so defensively and offensively intelligent that was the only way you could really catch him is if you catch him right in the middle of him throwing a punch. This is the only way I see Canelo having a chance of beating Floyd Mayweather. And Canelo is going to either have to get, put himself in harm's way of getting knocked down or knocked out, or he's going to end up getting lucky and knocking out Floyd Mayweather. Okay? And I think that Floyd Mayweather, he has a terrific chin. So even if you hurt Floyd Mayweather, you're gonna have to knock him out. You're gonna have to knock him out because Floyd Mayweather is already a great defensive wizard when he's confident. Imagine if Floyd Mayweather is hurt, then he's really gonna go into that turtle shell. So this is why when you're gonna have to knock Floyd out, or you're gonna have to hurt him real bad where he's basically out on his feet. Okay? And I personally don't think that Canelo is gonna be able to do that. All right, because he just doesn't have the intelligence to go toe to toe intelligently with someone like Floyd Mayweather. Another thing I find interesting is whenever you see interviews on YouTube, in the majority of them we see with Elliot Setback. He goes around and he interviews all type of fighters at different gyms and trainers and celebrities and fans. And what I find interesting is the majority of people that Elliot Setback is asking, who do you think will win? The majority of them are pulling for Canelo, but the majority of them are saying that Floyd Mayweather is going to win this fight. They all say the same thing. Floyd Mayweather is going to win. Canelo's just not on that level. And then they say this. They always say, he just doesn't have enough experience. When I hear them say Canelo just doesn't have enough experience, I think that's just a nice way to try to make it look like, hey, just because I'm saying Floyd Mayweather is going to win, it doesn't mean I'm pulling for him. It doesn't mean I'm pulling for him. I'm just saying that you don't have the experience yet. But realistically, we know that the experience is just a way to try to make yourself, or let me rephrase that. We know that when you use that experience excuse, it's just a more nice way to say Floyd Mayweather is going to beat you, and you're just not good enough. This has nothing to do with experience, okay? Because Canelo Alvarez is 23 years old. We all know that when Floyd Mayweather was 21, when he was 22, when he was 23, Floyd Mayweather was fighting real champions. Matter of fact, like I said, when he fought against Janelle Hernandez was the ring champion. He was the lineal champion. Okay? He was the #1 champion, and a lot of people thought that Floyd Mayweather was being rushed. Everybody kept talking about experience. Floyd doesn't have the experience to face somebody like Janelle Hernandez. Floyd Mayweather, he went in there and he put on one of his best performances to this day against an experienced champion who was almost 6 foot tall, who knew how to use his height like the Klitschko's. And Floyd Mayweather went in there and he won the fight easy, and he stopped Janelle Hernandez, all right, at age 22. When he fought against Diego Corrales, he was 23, all right. Floyd Mayweather was fighting fighters that had far more experience than him at the same age, if not a younger age than Canelo. So we can't use the excuse that Canelo doesn't have the experience. Hell, if Canelo Alvarez was going up against against Manny Pacquiao right now, or Juan Manuel Marquez, will we all say Marquez and Pacquiao is going to win that fight easy because they have the experience? Of course we wouldn't. We would probably call that fight a toss-up, or we would say that Canelo would be the favorite in that fight. We wouldn't even be looking at experience. We wouldn't look at experience because of Canelo's attributes. All right? But when it comes to Floyd Mayweather, people bring up the experience factor, and that's just an excuse to basically say that Floyd Mayweather is going to win. But on a good note, it's only because Canelo doesn't have the experience. It's an excuse, guys. So it says a lot. People who are pulling for Canelo Alvarez, the majority of them are predicting that Floyd Mayweather wins this fight. And like I said, there aren't too many fighters out there today with all the experience in the world that we would all favor to beat Canelo Alvarez. Okay? If Canelo was fighting against Sergio Martinez, I think Canelo would knock out Sergio Martinez. And once again, Martinez has all the experience in the world. All right? If Canelo was going against Manny Pacquiao, I would lean a little bit towards Canelo Alvarez in that fight. All right. So, the bottom line and the reason why Canelo would beat someone like a Pacquiao is because Pacquiao doesn't have the intelligence to avoid those bombs that Canelo throws. See, those bombs won't be that effective against Floyd Mayweather because Floyd is one of the rare fighters that knows how to avoid those punches. A fighter like Canelo, a fighter like Manny Pacquiao, he doesn't have the intelligence and the defense to avoid those bombs. Therefore, he would get knocked out. All right, this is once again what makes Floyd Mayweather so special. Okay, so basically, when it comes down to this breakdown of this fight, my prediction is Floyd Mayweather, he befuddles, he confuses, and he frustrates the hell out of Canelo Alvarez. I think leading up to this fight, the closer we get to the fight, a lot of people are going to predict that this is going to be Floyd Mayweather's toughest fight. On paper, it may be, but I think at the end of the day, this might be one of Floyd Mayweather's easiest fights since the Diego Corrales fight. And before I get the dumb people sending me messages, I'm not saying that Canelo Alvarez is Diego Corrales. I'm not saying that Diego Corrales is just as intelligent, just as good as Canelo Alvarez. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I think that Floyd Mayweather is going to have an easy time with Canelo Alvarez. I think Canelo's foot movement, I think his foot speed is slow, and I don't think he has a good defense. Regardless of what we've seen in the Austin Trout fight, we've seen him moving his head, bobbing and weaving and doing all of that. That bobbing and weaving won't be effective against Floyd Mayweather because Floyd Mayweather is not going to hit you when you're bobbing and weaving. Floyd Mayweather is going to hit you when you least expect it. Okay? So, I see Floyd Mayweather outboxing Canelo Alvarez fairly easy. I see the first 2-3 rounds looking slightly competitive, and after the blueprint is printed out for Floyd Mayweather, I think that's when he takes over and he outboxes Canelo Alvarez with a lot of eye-opening punches. It's going to knock Canelo his head back, and that's pretty much how I see this fight, guys. So you guys go ahead and let me know what you think. But this is how I see this fight going down, guys. I'm on to the next one.